Hey everybody, my name is Talia. Welcome back to my channel. So today what I want to look at is the network speed to my iPad. I usually use my iPad on Wi-Fi, and for most applications that's actually fairly fast and it's usually fast enough. But there are some applications with the iPad where I would much rather be able to draw on my iPad and see my results end up on a bigger screen, or where I need fast transfers between different devices. So what I want to look at today is really ways of connecting the iPad so that we get the maximum speed out of it. So first of all, let's look at the network speed that we're getting on Wi-Fi. So I'm just going to use speed test and let it connect to Wi-Fi here. And it looks like we're going to get about 270, 283, about a little over 3 down and 130 or so up, 140. So final numbers, 312 down and 141 up. And that's using Wi-Fi. So I've also got a regular network cable, and there's a little dongle that Apple actually makes so you can connect your network to your USB-C. So I'm just going to connect that in the side here, like this. I've got a 2 gig connection coming in from the outside. So let's see what that gives us on the iPad. So I've got my 2 gig Ethernet cable hooked up here using the dongle from Apple. And let's see what kind of speed that gives us. So that's looking a little better. So we're getting 935. Sometimes I get well over a gig down. And it looks like I'm going to get about 216 up. So when I've got the USB-C adapter from Ethernet connected, you can actually see that in your settings. And it shows up as Ethernet, and the interface will show as a Belkin USB-C connector. So just for those who need a little bit of extra instruction. The fastest connection that I normally get set up is when I'm using the Thunderbolt Bridge. So in order to use your Thunderbolt Bridge, you're going to have to go from your computer, you're going to have to go into System Settings and go into Network, and you're going to need to enable the Thunderbolt Bridge. And once you've done that, so I'm using my Thunderbolt Bridge as an input to a MacBook M2 Max. And so I've got the Thunderbolt going in, and that's a 2 gig connection. And the next thing, all I need to do is go into General and go into Sharing, and then enable Internet Sharing. And you'll see that what I've done here is I have enabled the Ethernet adapter. So when I plug in my Ethernet, or my iPad USB, you should see that iPad USB pops up here, enabled right here. And then make sure you've got your internet sharing enabled, and then you're good. And then let's take a look and see what this looks like on the iPad. And now let's try the connection through the Thunderbolt Bridge. So now you can see that I'm getting well over 2 gigs down into the iPad. And it won't change my upload speed a whole lot. Okay, wonderful people. So that essentially shows 3 different ways that I can connect my iPad. And depending on the type of work I'm doing and how fast of a network speed I actually use, that I could either use my Wi-Fi, or I could simply connect it up to the wired LAN in my office. And then the alternative, of course, is to use the full Thunderbolt. And with the Wi-Fi, I get reasonable speeds. Off of the LAN, I normally get about a gig down and about 250, 240, 250 up. And again, when I use Thunderbolt, I'm normally getting about 2 gigs down, and my upstream still stays about the same at about 240, 250. Depending on what type of speed you need. The thing, of course, when you cable your iPad, you do put a little bit of a limitation on the mobility of it. But when it's sitting on your desk, for example, I often use my iPad on my desk. So I will often set it up so that it's almost flat like this. And then I can use my Apple Pencil as a stylus and write on the iPad, and it's very comfortable. So those are just different thoughts that I have. And thank you for watching my video, and I will talk to you again really soon. Bye for now.